Hello everyone, welcome or welcome back if you're a returning viewer. WB here, and in this video what I want to do is show you how you can use Microsoft Intune to control Windows local groups. If you're enjoying what you see on the channel, as always, I encourage you to like, subscribe, share. Comments are always welcome, and continue the discussion with us inside of our community Discord server, link in the description below. What do you say? It's time. Let's dive in. All right, everybody, here we are on my Windows desktop, and if we are going to manage the local group membership, we're going to have to create a policy. And in order to do this, what we're going to do, we've signed into the Microsoft Intune Admin Center. And from here, what we're going to do is we're going to go to, let me kind of zoom in here, see if I can show you, like I usually do, my start menu and all other kinds of things on my desktop. But we're going to go ahead, we're going to choose Endpoint Security. And from Endpoint Security, we're going to be under the Manage section, and depending on how zoomed in you are, you might have to scroll down a little bit, because just below ASR, or Attack Surface Reduction policies, there is Account Protection. This is where we are going to select. All right, and if you have any account protection policies, if you're controlling local groups, right? If you've got Windows Hello for Business, the local admin password solution lapse, like I've mentioned in other videos on the channel, you can do this all from right here. So what we're going to do is we're going to choose Create a Policy. All right, in this case, we're going to select a platform, almost like they gave us a choice. So I guess we'll select Windows, right? But then there's going to be three options here. And under here, this is where we can choose an account protection policy. Check out our video on how to implement and deploy Windows local admin password solution, because we can do this from here as well. But what we want is this last option here. This is the local user group membership here. And you can see what it allows you to do, right? To help add, remove, and replace members of local groups on your Windows devices. Remember, there's a few different device groups that this supports. It supports the administrator group, the users group, the guest group, power users group, even though in Windows 10 that's kind of a legacy group today. It's really just there for backwards compatibility. And when I say backwards compatibility, I'm talking back to the XP days, right? And then there's the remote desktop users group that this also will help you to manage. And then likewise, on top of that, the last one I believe is the remote management group. So you've got a few different local groups that this supports, and from here what we're going to do is we're going to choose Create. Now once we choose Create, we're going to get our little walkthrough wizard that we've seen in other videos, right? And I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to call this South US. What are we going to call this? Windows, maybe we'll call this Windows Local, and I'll call this Groups 01. Remember that when it comes to your naming convention, kind of a stickler for that when you're creating policies here, make sure that they do make sense to you, rather than just saying local group 01, right? This lets me know that this is, the South US office, and that we're going to be configuring a Windows local group policy, right? So I can almost kind of delineate what, and again, for me, this makes sense. It might not make sense to you. I know hopefully there's a methodology, a method to the madness. Remember to configure these appropriate for your organization. And then we're going to choose Next. All right, notice that it's going to give you this little piece of advice. You need to configure at least one setting to proceed. Sometimes these interfaces will get a little bit ahead of themselves, and before you even can configure something, it'll error out, and it'll give you this little red warning saying, hey, you've got to either add a group, or in this case, you've got to configure one setting. Don't worry about that. Again, that does happen from time to time. And like I've told you before in other videos, as you go through here and as you're studying, don't hesitate to click these little thought icons, the little exclamation points. Like for instance, this one, you can use a series of almost CRUD operations, right? We talk about CRUD being that create, replace, update, and delete. Well, this will let you know what happens if you have two different policies, both with replace and update. Notice that we do have a precedence here. Replace is going to win. So definitely check that out, especially if you're getting ready for the certification exam, because this is called out on the exam to be able to manage these local groups. And if you take a second here and you just come in here and you can kind of write these down for your notes, all right, and it'll help you tremendously on the exam. And then from here, what we're going to do is we're going to choose Add, so we can add a group configuration. Now, from here, what we're going to do is we're going to define what the group is. that we want to configure, right? So you can see that we have users, right? Guest power users, remote desktop users, RDUs, and the remote management group here as well. So for instance, if I want, I can control the remote desktop users, right? What kind of group and user action do we want to do? Again, notice the add, remove, so there's an update, and then there's a replace. Again, kind of along the lines of those CRUD operations, right? And do we want to do users and group selection, or do we want to do a manual selection? We're going to choose users and groups. Notice we're getting this little warning, little exclamation point here, because now what we're going to do is we're going to select our users or the groups that we're using. And here's where we can search our Microsoft Entra ID for the appropriate group that we want to apply this to. Maybe we pick on our sales team, right? We choose sales, we choose select. Notice that goes from that little exclamation point to a green check mark. That means you've assigned, you selected the users. We're going to choose next. Here's where you can define the scope tags. I'm going to use the default scope here for just the demonstration purposes. And then we get to assign this, all right? And this is where we can pick our group to assign this to. Maybe we want to do this to all devices, or maybe in this case, since we're scoping this really just to Windows devices, maybe we choose Windows devices in this. Keep in mind you can also use the include or exclude depending on how you want to configure this. Gives you a lot of granularity. If you have filters, I don't believe I have any filters. Sorry about that. Let me get back there real quick. Yeah, I don't believe I actually have any filters right now, so wouldn't really help us. Let's say include. Now, okay, yeah, I do have a couple of filters. I couldn't remember if I had some filters created, but I do for some other videos here. So I could also go even farther with that granularity, and I can add an assignment filter here too. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to choose cancel to that, and I'll choose next. And here's our review, right? Our summary page. And then from here, this is where we get the ability, to review our settings, make sure our settings are right. And then once we've done that, we can choose save. And if we've done everything right, we'll see that we have our saved assignments, and then we have our policy created. And then from here, we can come in here, we can locate our policy here, we can select it, and then this is where we get the ability to see, what some of the attributes, has it successfully applied? Are there errors? Are there conflicts? Maybe some that are non-applicable. Are they in progress? You can also choose to view a report, as well as viewing a report by device assignment status and a per setting status. And as always, if you scroll down, you can see the properties of your policy. And if you need to make any changes after the fact, you can make changes as well. So there you have it, kind of a very easy, straightforward way to managing local groups inside of Microsoft Intune. Just going to have to know where to go in order to do this. Keep in mind the locations, that breadcrumb trail that we can kind of see at the top is going to help tremendously if you're remembering this from text-based answers or even an exhibit that you have to look at. So from home, we go to Endpoint Security, Account Protection. Remember, when we create a new policy, we've got 3 options there. The one that we want is the local group option that I've shown you how to create, and then we walk through the configuration settings, we save the policy, and then we are good to go. So there you have it, very straightforward, not a very complex thing to do, but very, very handy, and definitely something that's required for the exam. So as always, like I tell you, if you like the, instructional videos that we are putting together here, I would ask that you, like, share, subscribe. Comments are always welcome, really helps out the channel. Click that notification bell as well so you're aware of all the content that we have coming up. We have quite a few pieces of content, I should say, that we release every week, and even a live stream. Also keep in mind that you can join us on our Discord server as well. Link in the description below. And as always, thank you so much, WB here, for taking the time and joining me.